Hey, and welcome back to the Dis Dungeon. I'm Joe Dove, as you know, and I have just returned from a life changing experience in Las Vegas. I went for my new other podcast that I will talk about later, but I wanted to let you guys know this is a Dove Dive. I'm Joe Dove. Sometimes when you go someplace and you only spend a few days, but realize that you've had more connections and interactions that last year really starts to put a light into things. Here for music, of course, and just here to tell you that we are coming back with episodes we have already put in the bank, so they're going to sound a little off once things get announced every now and then. But Julian and I will be back pretty soon. It's going to be very exciting. There's going to be a lot of fun, but we're here to talk music, and we're here to talk adventure and personal experiences. So, with further ado, I bring you, yes, Close to the Edge. When you take these magical journeys around the world and around even your own country, and you find yourself in a place of heat and fortune for some, and a place that you normally would not ever go to because you and heat don't work out so well, and then find yourself actually having a good time there. It was like, what is going on? What is changing in me that is making us feel, and us, I say the solar corporeal being that is my body and the spiritual being that is my soul. So while I'm wandering around at night in the very hot desert of Las Vegas with my new friend, and I had this mind opening experience and just felt the whole trip just made me think of Close to the Edge by Yes. It was just so much correlation between some of their lyrics. If you've never listened to Yes, Close to the Edge, I highly recommend it. It's their first album, but it's one of their most spiritual. Every song has some lyric that's going to just make you stop and wonder. And then when you experience these adventures and look back at your life and look at your moments and kind of think about it all, and makes you wonder exactly, are you in the right frame? Are you in the right place? Are you in your life? Not at the moment, but this is the path that you're walking in, the right way to go. And is it the way that you envisioned as a child that would come to fruition as an adult? Are you in the connections that you're supposed to, or were the connections just off putting for times? Today I'm building a website. Today I'm working. I'm back from vacation, but I return to work tomorrow. I'm going to do a rare off the cuff release because these moments and these adventures just had an impact on me. And in my head, as I'm thinking about all of these moments, there are these lyrics just swooshing in my head, and I'm going to share them with you from Close to the Edge so you can imagine yourself, put yourself in my shoes, and get this experience. I'm not sure if the experience will be the same for you, but this is what I felt literally as I was walking in the desert with my new friend. Crossed the line around the changes of the summer, reaching out to call the color of the sky. Passed around a moment cloth in mornings faster than we see. Getting over all the time I had to worry, leaving all the changes far from far behind. We relieve the tension only to find out the master's name. Down at the end, round them by the corner, close to the edge, just by a river. Seasons will pass you by. I get up, I get down. And now that it's all over and done, now that you'll find, now that you're whole, my eyes convinced eclipse with a younger moon attained with love. It's changed, almost estranged, amidst clear manna from above. I crucified my hate and held the world within my hands. There's you, the time, the logic, or the reasons we don't understand. So I started this venture a year ago on another channel because I wanted to explore something different, and I made a friend from across the globe in Jason, and we are the two Jasons and a Joe on the Spectrum Sanctorum Captain's Quadrant podcast. And what I've been doing is I've been going to different conventions and passing out little tchotchkes or something to kind of remember the website by, the podcast by, the visual interpretation. So I've been meeting people and making connections and trying to grow that as much as I can. And while doing so, I took a walk and all these things started fluttering in my head as if a ripple effect from dropping a stone in the water. And there's nothing more metaphoric than, yes, close to the edge. There's so many different metaphors and so much poetry in these lyrics. Some people find it very hippie-ish because it's very, very out there. But sometimes you get older and the lyrics have different meanings. When I was a kid, I always made the connection for my youth as to trying to get out of the changes while the seasons passed me by. But now I feel like I've been going on the wrong path while the seasons pass me by. And it's such a weird conundrum and an amazing switch because when you first encounter something and you have this vision in your head and you have these lyrics that you sing constantly and poorly, because I'm not a singer, but find yourself stuck in this experience that just makes the whole album meaning totally different. The metaphors change, the time changes, you've changed. And it's quite possibly the most amazing experience I've had in my life. Left my head all muddled as I came back on the plane. And though I had to make these coughing adjustments from being in dry Vegas to humid New York, it has been a bit of a struggle, but I'm drinking my juice, my water, and my chicken noodle soup to kind of mend those things. But it's just, the reflection back as to everything that happened, everyone you met, and of course, those experiences you had out in existence that you probably could have lived, and that would have been better than what you are doing. It is a very strange conundrum and an oddity as to the world that you live in. Here I am now, just truly open your eyes and see things differently just from chance encounters and a trip that you didn't intend to make. This was a spontaneous thing because my good buddy Ernesto had an extra ticket, and I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to take that ticket and make this trip possible and have these experiences that changed the lyrics' meaning for me and made me see the sun and the stars differently this time around. I'm never going to forget this trip, and I'm never going to ever forget Close to the Edge. And I think if you are a fan of amazing guitar, some insane lyrics that may give you different meanings, have you ever experienced a song that you could hear 20, 30 years over and over again? It means one thing, and then your adventure has just made it a whole new meaning and brought your eyes into seeing things differently. Has that ever happened to you in your life? Has that ever opened a window from a locked door to let you into something that you've never experienced and never thought you would? Let me know. We have these new abilities to comment here on the podcast. And as I talk about the podcast, friends, Julian and I are working on some amazing new things to bring to the podcast. We're changing up some of our sections. And there's going to be a whole lot of amazing, amazing things coming to the Disc Dungeon podcast in the future. Please bear with us as we retune and dust off some things from the dark depths of the Disc Dungeon. Feel the stars and the sun's light on our skin and bring to you the new season of the Disc Dungeon, where we go to the dark depths and pull out some light. There will be more experiences with music, sounds, and tunes that you are going to love and experience for the first time as I re-experience things once again for the first time, so to speak. It'll be amazing. It'll be fun. And the last thing I want to leave you with is the second song off the amazing album, Close to the Edge, and that's And You and I. That is a song that I always thought was a love song, but now that I realize it, it's more about a spiritual awakening and how the earth itself can lead you to this awakening. The first verse in the song, a man conceived a moment's answers to the dream, staying the flowers daily, sensing all the themes. And I've gone to our good buddies at Genius Lyrics to really look into the song more than I've ever imagined. And one of the annotations here from many contributors say that this is life is a mundane, a dream, in which only can give answers, but to sufferings one's actions. In the present moment, according to the conditions, there is never a final answer in thoughts. In fact, it doesn't last a second. The second verse is an image in which, as if flowers could sense our nuances as we smell their perfumes. Verse 2, changed only for a sight of sound, the space agreed between the picture of time behind the face of need. And my perspective on this whole lyric is, the thing that you envisioned isn't actually what you need in your life. When you take these steps in these dark corridors and you believe that there's going to be light because what you've projected is going to be the light to take you on that path correctly, and then you realize in these type of moments that the path isn't as clear and as illuminated as you perceived. And that's why you get in these conundrums, and that's why your head spins as you return from a trip. But next lyric, coins and crosses never knew their fruitless worth. Cards are broken, locked inside the Mother Earth. They won't hide, and they won't tell you, watching the world, watching all of the world, watching us go by. RockHistoryMusic.com had an interview with John Anderson about this lyric, and it happens to be his favorite line in the whole song. We are spiritual beings, so we all have our own religions. And the confusion was that you can't have religion saying, you're all wrong, and you're all going to hell. You can't have it. It doesn't work. I absolutely adore that, because even though I'm very connected with a lot of different religions, there's just still some spirituality that I think people need to realize. And everybody's choice is their own. And if your denomination fits you and makes your life whole, you should keep to it. And that's all the religion I'll be talking about. And this is the last verse I'm going to talk about on this episode, because I may have to dive deeper in it with Julian in the future. I listened hard but could not see. Life tempo change out and inside me. The preacher trained in all to lose his name. The teacher travels asking to be shown the same. In the end, will agree, will accept, will immortalize. That the truth of the man maturing in his eyes, all complete in the sight of seeds of life with you. Rather than say the connection is bonding between two people, it's more of losing the meaning of the impact. The fact that love is not a word that is found in thoughts or conceptions. It is a very open meaning, and it's speaking of a pure land where we will be free of ourselves in the relationship between us. The ability to become humble and the ability to open up to another person or being, not attach to our egotistical conceptions. I think that is a very deep interpretation of this lyric from Genius.com. And for me, I just feel like this is the moment where you really have to take a step back, open your mind, look up, embrace the celestial beings that guide us at night so that we can see clearly to the path that we walk on, and realize that not everything is going to be what our parents told us, what we thought, what we dreamed. It's going to have a lot of different paths, and it's going to mess your mind up when you find one of those paradoxes. And that's what I leave you with today. Thanks for listening to this update episode. This is a Dove Dive. I'm Joe Dove. Let me know, again, if you've experienced anything like this, or after 30 years of knowing and loving a song, it just has a whole new meaning because of a experience you had out there in the desert. Is that like a walkabout journey in Australia? I'll have to ask my friend Jason about that. If you are a Star Trek fan and you are wanting to catch up more with me, I do a weekly new podcast with Spectrum Sanctorum. Spectrum because we welcome everybody in the entire spectrum of the world. And Sanctorum is where the safe space where everybody can come together and talk. So I will be there weekly every Thursday at 9 p.m. live, which is also rare. So make sure you come hang out with us and talk Star Trek. We will be back soon. And once we return, we will have our first episode drop with subsequential episodes dropping monthly. We are super excited to be back with you in the dark depths of the Disc Dungeon. Thank you so much for downloading. Please give us a 5-star review if you wouldn't mind. And even if you do mind, just 5 stars really help us go a long way. We will be back with you in your ears, talking about things, all music, all melodies, all the time here in the Disc Dungeon. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to take that journey with you.